Hi everyone, welcome to Ellen's Tips for iOS, where I help seniors master their iPhones and iPads. If you find the video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. If you've just gotten a new iPad, or maybe you've had one for a while, there are some important settings that can make your iPad easier to see, easier to use, and much more comfortable. Today I'm going to walk you step by step through some of the most helpful iPad settings, especially for seniors. And I promise nothing complicated, just simple changes that make a big difference. Let's get started. Let's start with your screen, because if it's easier to see, everything else becomes easier too. So let's start by going to the Settings app, which looks like a gray icon with a cog wheel. Let's open that, and then we're going to scroll down to Display and Brightness. And we want to turn on True Tone. This automatically adjusts your screen colors based on your lighting. It makes the screen look more like paper and reduces eye strain. If you don't see it on your iPad, it's likely that you have a model that's too old for this particular feature. But most of the newer models, from the regular iPad through the M Pro, all use True Tone. Another option that you should take a look at is Night Shift. Down below here, you'll see it. If I tap on it, you can set a schedule, which I have done. And my schedule goes from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. And this reduces the blue light and helps with your sleep. So this is a great tip for seniors who use their iPads at night. Now let's stop those constant interruptions that we receive by checking our notifications. So I'm going to tap on Notifications down below, and you might want to set up Scheduled Summary. So if your iPad is constantly buzzing or popping up messages, this is a big one. So if I tap on this, you can turn this toggle switch on. And if you've never done this before, once you do that, it's going to walk you through the process. But if you've done this before, when you toggle the switch on, you're going to see something similar to this. So you can see that I have a first summary set up for 8 a.m. and another for 6 a.m. You can also choose which apps that you want to receive a summary for. So I can go in and toggle on particular apps that I want. And things like messages, you want to receive those immediately, so you don't want to add them to the summary. But go through and turn scheduled summary on for the apps that may be continually sending you notifications where you don't really need to see them except maybe twice a day. This is one of my favorite settings for seniors. Another optional setting you can take a look at is turn off message previews. So if I hit this back button, inside of the notification area, I'll see an option that says Show Previews. This is great for privacy if others can see your screen. So I'm going to go ahead in and change that to Never. And this way, if somebody's looking over your shoulder and you receive a notification, they're not going to see what's inside of that particular notification. Now let's take a look at privacy and security. So if you're not inside the Settings app, you go to Settings and then you scroll down until you see Privacy and Security, and I'm going to tap that. What you want to do is review your location services. So if I tap Location Services, go through your apps and keep on for apps like Maps and Weather, things that absolutely need your location. Turn off for apps that don't need your location. Or you can choose a setting for something that says, while you're using this particular app, go ahead and use my location. But then once you get out of that app, it stops using the location services. So go through each of your apps and determine which apps you need to have turned on and which apps are unnecessary. Another option that we want to look at is tracking. So I'm going to tap the back button in the upper left corner to come back to the main privacy and security settings page. You'll see an option for tracking. Go ahead in there and turn that off. This allows apps to request to track you. I don't necessarily think any app needs to track you, so I'm going to go ahead and toggle that switch off. And now we're going to look at another setting, the privacy app report. So I'm going to scroll down a little bit till I get towards the bottom and it says app privacy report. Go ahead and turn that on. And this shows what apps are doing behind the scene. This is great for peace of mind. Now let's take a look at some settings that help protect your hearing. So we're inside the Settings app. We're going to tap on Sounds. And now once we do that, the first thing I would turn off would be keyboard clicks. These remove that constant tapping sound. So I've toggled that switch off so that I don't have to hear it. And the next we're going to do, turn on, is limit the maximum volume. So scroll down and locate volume limit. I'm going to tap on that and you'll see that I have mine set to around 80%. And this helps protect your hearing. Now let's hit this back arrow and reduce loud sounds. So here it says reduce loud sounds. Hit that or toggle that switch on. And basically it keeps loud noises lower, but voices are clear. This is perfect for movies and shows. Now let's make our Safari web browsing safer. So you'll go to Settings in Safari. All I need to do is come down, tap on Apps, and then I'm going to hit the S over here and tap on Safari. Scroll down until you see Privacy and Security, and you want to go ahead and turn on Prevent Cross-Site Tracking. Make sure that you've turned on Fraudulent Website Warning, and then hide IP address from trackers. Those are the 3 settings you need to look at, and these protect your privacy while you're browsing the internet. Now let's make text easier to read. So what we're going to want to do is tap, we don't need to even tap on the back arrow. We can go ahead and locate the accessibility settings here. So I'm going to scroll until I see accessibility. And this is one of the best sections for seniors. So if I tap on accessibility, now I want to go to the per app settings. So if I scroll towards the very bottom, you'll see per app settings. I'll tap on that. And here you can make text bigger or bold in just one app, like Books or Chrome or my email, which is Spark. And this is perfect if you want larger text when reading, but normal size text everywhere else. So here, if I wanted to, I could add an app, and then I would locate the app that I wanted to add. So let's say I want to add Books. And when I tap on Books, now I can say, right now it says larger text default, but if I want to make the text larger in the Books app, I can go ahead and just tap on this or drag it, and it'll show you the text size at the very top. And so you may want larger text size when you're reading, but normal everywhere else on your device. And this is a great way to do it per individual app. So go ahead and come into the per app settings and add apps that you want to increase the size of the text. Now let's go ahead and make navigation easier. We're going to go to multitasking and gestures inside of the Settings app. And now what we want to do is toggle on 4 or 5 finger app switching. And I know this sounds complicated, but it's actually very helpful. And once you turn this setting on, this allows you to pinch with 4 or 5 fingers to go home, swipe left and right to switch apps, and to open the app switcher easily. And these gestures can be easier than using buttons once you get used to them. So sometimes it doesn't work so well in the beginning, but once you get the gesture down pat, you'll be able to do all these things. So I've turned on 4 or 5 finger app switching. If I pinch with 4 or 5 fingers, I can come back to the home screen. If I swipe with 4 fingers, I can scroll between my apps. And if I pinch away or pinch out, it should bring me back to the app switcher where I can choose my apps. So it may not look easy in the beginning, but it'll actually work better once you master the gesture. So you can scroll with 4 or 5 fingers, you can pinch in to come back to the home screen, and you should be able to pinch out to come into the app switcher. Now, another option that you want to take a look at inside of this is at the very top where you have the Windows option. If you're having trouble with the Windows apps, go ahead and turn on full screen so that all of your apps show up in full screen. You can always change this setting and go back to windowed apps or Stage Manager if you want to. So those are some of the most important iPad settings I recommend that you check today. Remember, you don't have to stick with the default settings. Your iPad should work for you, not the other way around. Before I go, I just wanted to mention something briefly. I know many of you have said that while the videos are helpful, sometimes you wish you could ask a question when you get stuck. And you're not alone. That's something I hear quite often. So I've been working on something new that will allow you to do exactly that. I'll be sharing more about that very soon. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.